Well, folks, we're going to talk about Arizona today, and some of you might say, well, you already covered Arizona. Yeah, we did earlier in the year. We covered the elk and antelope portion. But Arizona has two big parts of their draw. In January and February, they have elk and antelope. And now in June, they have the deer and bighorn sheep draw. So today, we're going to talk about deer and bighorn sheep. So we always talk about deadlines, right? The most important thing is don't miss the deadline. The deadline for Arizona for deer, and when I say deer, it's the little whitetails that most people call them Coues whitetails. It's really cows, but we won't go into that. And then it's mule deer. Arizona has the best Coues whitetail deer hunting in the West and some of the best mule deer hunting in the West. You think about the kaibab, right? Everybody who is interested in mule deer has heard of the kaibab. You've heard about the Arizona strip. If you want to apply for those tags, now is when you got to do it. And the deadline is June 12th for online applications. The paper applications, they're trying to phase that out to save money. That paper application deadline is already passed. So these videos that we're doing them in conjunction with the folks at goHUNT. And right here, I've got my goHUNT account pulled up, my insider, and it's got everything you want to know about Arizona. Just the overview of just how the system works, you name it. And then they'll be adding all these strategy articles about, okay, here's the best strategy of what to do for deer. Here's the best strategy of what to do for bighorn sheep. Here's the best strategy of what to do for what's called non-permit or over-the-counter tags in Arizona for deer. So this insider system is unbelievable. Look at how much information is in here. And then you add the fact that they have the best draw odds. It's worth every bit of it. And if you are watching and you use our promo code RANDY, R-A-N-D-Y, to go out here to gohunt.com and sign up for the insider, they're going to give you $50 of free mad money. Yeah, store credit in their gear shop. So the first thing that you want to do in Arizona is go download the regulations. They're online. Look them over, get familiar with it. That, along with your goHUNT subscription, is going to give you all the details, everything that you want to know. When we did the elk and antelope, we covered the draw system for Arizona. And I'm going to quickly go through it again because it's kind of complicated. But one of the things I want to focus on in Arizona is this opportunity for building points and drawing tags for youth hunters, ages 10 to 17. There's no state that makes it as easy and as inexpensive as Arizona. Okay, when you look at the regulations, you'll see that you and I have to buy a non-resident, non-refundable hunting license. $160 for adults. For a youth, it's $5. I mean, you think about building points for your kids, and Arizona has some youth-only hunts, and if you look at the fee difference between the resident youth and the non-resident youth tag fees, it's only a few dollars difference. Yeah, if they want to jump into the draw for some of the high premium stuff, then they have to pay the adult fee. But think about applying your kids. If you have a youth hunter in your household, think about starting the process of building points for them. Because here's the other thing that's helpful if you do it now. Arizona has a 365-day license. It's not a calendar year license. It doesn't go from January to December. It goes 365 days. So if you buy that license today to build them points or apply in the deer and the bighorn sheep draws, that license is still in effect next January and February when you can apply them and start building points for elk and antelope. You should be doing that. Do that. That's an order. Build points for your kids in Arizona. So you've went online, you've established your portal account. And when I say a portal account, what I'm talking about is Arizona, you go online, click my account, and it takes you to this portal. And this portal has some benefits. One, you find out your draw results earlier. And two, you can buy what's called Point Guard. It's almost like insurance. For $5 extra, you say, all right, I want to be able to turn my tag in and guard my points or protect my points. if something comes up, say a work issue, a family issue where you can't go on the hunt, you got to turn the tag back in. If you've bought the point guard feature, you're going to protect your points and have them restored when you turn your tag back in. But understand, you can only do that with the portal system. So first thing, set up your portal account, download the regulations, then go to your insider and start doing your research draws, everything else. I'm going to quickly walk through again, just like we did for the elk and antelope draw. I'm going to walk through how the Arizona system works, and it's all out here on goHUNT. What I'm going to tell you, they explain it way better in their diagrams than how I'm going to explain it to you in in video probably. So, buy your license, right? Got to do that to even apply. If you don't have a license, you can't apply. And understand that now Arizona is going to split the draw into 2 phases. First phase, second phase. First phase is 20% of the tags for every hunt code are going to go into the first phase. And those tags, the 20% of the tags, are going to be allocated based on the applicant with the most points. So it's almost like a true preference point system. Then the other 80% of the tags are going to go into the second phase. And the second phase is a true bonus point system where it's just you get assigned random numbers based on how many bonus points you have. If you take these combined for us non-residents, the total between the first phase and the second phase is up to 10% of the tags can go to non-residents. With a little bit of a hiccup there that in that first phase, only 5% of the total tag pool can go to non-residents in the first phase. That means that at least 5% of the tags are going to be available to non-residents in the second phase. So when you realize how this non-resident split works between the first phase and the second phase, understanding all of the draw odds is important. And then you've got another complication in Arizona. Arizona looks at your first 2 choices before they go on to the next person. So I always apply for a really, really difficult hunt as my first choice. Maybe I'll draw. If I don't, I usually have a less difficult hunt as my second choice. And so they'll look at both of your first and second choice. If there are no tags available, they go to the next applicant. And they keep doing that. So don't waste one of your first 2 choices in Arizona. It's rare that a state lets you have a first and second choice that they look at. Most states just look at the first choice and go on to the next person. So it allows you to think about some strategy stuff when you're applying in Arizona. Remember, hard choice as your first choice, a little bit easier choice as your second choice. So earlier I said that the first phase is kind of a true preference point system where 20% of the tags go to the people with the most points. And the most points in Arizona is a lot. I think right now maximum points in Arizona is 25 or 26, something like that. So unless you're in the really high point pool, the first phase of the draw, you're almost not even going to be in that one. But then the bonus point system, remember we've talked about how bonus point systems are kind of like buying raffle tags, right? If you have 10 points and I have 2 points, you get 10 raffle tickets, I get 2 raffle tickets. Simplified way to look at it. That means you're going to get assigned 10 random numbers and I'm going to get assigned 2 random numbers. And the odds are, of your 10 random numbers, you're probably going to get a lower random number out of those 10 than I'm going to get out of my 2. So that's why over the course of the big picture, you have about a 5 times greater chance of drawing than I do. But we all have been in a raffle, right? Where the person who bought 1 ticket wins the raffle and everyone else bought 10 tickets. It's kind of how a bonus point system works. Just because you have low points doesn't mean you're out of the game. It just means that people with more points have a greater likelihood than you do. So Arizona allows you to build points in 2 other ways. They have what's called a loyalty point, and then they have a hunter ed point. And the loyalty point is awarded to you for any species that you've applied for 5 consecutive years. And as long as you never break that streak of applying, that loyalty point stays with you. And then you have a hunter ed point. Whereas if you've taken hunter education in your state, you can go to Arizona and take the one-day non-resident class, and that will be a permanent non-resident bonus point that is in your account. It'll never go away. So think about it. Last year I drew elk in Arizona. You would think my points would have went to 0, but they didn't, because I have my 1 point for hunter ed and I have my 1 point for a loyalty point. So this year when I went into the elk draw, I already started out with 2 points, even though I'd drawn the year before. So Arizona's got some ways that you can, I guess, improve and invest in your points in the system, and I'd take advantage of them if the opportunity allows. There are quite a few leftover licenses in Arizona for the early rifle whitetail deer hunts. And those are in October and November. And the reason that there's a lot of leftovers is it's a harder hunt. They're not rutting, the weather's warmer, and there's gonna be more hunters in the field. But if you wanna go and hunt those little Coues whitetails, you're almost guaranteed some of those tags if you're willing to go in October or November. So when we get to the sheep applications in Arizona, understand that desert bighorn sheep are just a rare commodity. There's only so many sheep on the mountain, and they're managed conservatively. So if you do draw an Arizona sheep tag, consider yourself really, really lucky. But if you don't apply, you're not going to draw. That's the guarantee. Always be applying. Some people say, oh, I'm only going to buy points for sheep this year. With sheep, never just buy a point. Always apply. You never know when your ticket's going to get pulled. And think about it. Is there any other hunt that would conflict, that would be a higher priority hunt to keep you from going on an Arizona desert sheep hunt? Probably not. I want to focus more on deer because Arizona's deer hunting is incredible. I've been very lucky to draw some really, really good tags in Arizona. And in the years that I don't draw, I go there and I hunt what they call the non-permit deer tag. So think about this. I've already bought my license, so I can apply for elk, for antelope, for these limited entry deer tags, for bighorn sheep. I've already got the license. So to go deer hunting on these non-permit archery deer tags, all I have to do is go buy the tag then. I've already invested in the license. And I do it every year. And these non-permit deer tags, they're over the counter. There's no cap on them. Resident or non-resident, doesn't matter. They're archery hunts. And depending on which part of the state, the northern part, most of those non-permit hunts are in later December. And then in the southern part of the state, most of those non-permit tags for archery are I think it's mostly the month of January. There might be some of those units there where you get to hunt a little bit in December, but it's mostly the month of January. So with that, I'm able to get a lot more value out of my investment in my Arizona hunting license. It's cold up here in Montana. I'm going to Arizona in January. I'm chasing these little whitetail bucks around, having a great time, all this public land. Arizona has a lot going for it. So there you have it, folks. It's pretty easy, right? Go online, establish your portal account, download the regulations, check your drawing odds in the goHUNT Insider, buy your license, buy the youth hunters in your family a license and apply them, or at least buy them points. You make sure you use your first choice and your second choice in a wise manner. And if you don't draw, think about one of the over-the-counter non-permit archery deer tags and go and have a blast. All of this information I gave you is here in greater detail out here on the goHUNT Insider website. If you go out here, use promo code Randy, you're gonna get $50 of free store credit in their gear shop, and you're gonna have at your fingertips an accumulation of all this great information about Arizona and all the Western states. Thanks for watching.